Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.
There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fight back. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south. Never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fight back.
to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck here for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah. Rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat from the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my devil when I do not to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. Mind say really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my devil when I do not to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. I'm full of stage, trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. Mind say really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Happy holidays. I'm so excited to see everybody here today. I was gonna roll right into my intro, but then I was just kind of I sat there and I just saw chat and I see all of you and I'm just like, whew, I am so glad. I'm so glad to see each and every one of you this morning. My name, as always, is Neil Bridges, and thank you for joining me this morning on this Friday's, the last Friday of 2021's Tea with a Hacker. Morning, everybody. Let's end this poll. I ran a poll. Everybody who guessed masala chai, tricked you up. It was wrong. I'm dropping in some peppermint tea this morning. Needed a little bit of that peppermint action going on. So congrats to the 13% of you that got peppermint correct. Oh, man. What an awesome time to be around cybersecurity. Isn't that the case? My name, all right, I should probably do my intro. Before I get too far off track. My name is Neil Bridges, and thank you for joining me today. Welcome to all of our new joiners as well as our regular visitors. Real conversations with real people. That is direct from one of our guests. This is our Friday morning chat and chill AMA, which stands for Ask Me Anything stream. We do these every Friday. For those who are new to the channel, you can catch us here every Friday to do these small little AMA streams. Typically, we broadcast our normal streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Wednesday is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, we do the Friday morning streams to catch as big of an audience as we can so that you all can get your questions answered. We also do we don't do all of our giveaways on Friday, but we do a good bit of our giveaways on Friday. We love the audience that shows up on Friday, and so we will talk about the giveaways that we do have for this morning. But we got listen, it's the end of the year. We're gonna do some giveaways, and it's going to be a lot. So buckle in. We're gonna do some giveaways. I'm telling you, like, I'm so fired up for this morning's stream. All right, back to my intro. See, I want to skip the intro. But see, my producer says, like, I got to be consistent with the intro. Real conversations with real people. We really do have those conversations right here on the Cybersecurity channel. We do this because we need to have those conversations at a much, much broader scale. We have a problem in our industry where we don't have real conversations about the topics that affect the cybersecurity industry, the people in it, or the companies that we protect. And because cybersecurity is an ever-changing landscape, our goal here is to focus on multiple aspects of that industry. And this is my favorite part of the intro, and I love this, right? Because this was the reason we've been streaming for a year and a half now. And when Carmen and I started streaming a year and a half ago, right, this next line, this was the reason we wanted to do cyber insecurity. You who are listening to me right now, you are not out of your league on this channel. Let me say that again. You are not out of your league on this channel. I don't care. This community doesn't care what your discipline is. Whether it's red team, blue team, risk and governance, it does not matter. Nobody cares, right? We've had bankers, we've got truck drivers, we've got experienced hackers, we've got experienced blue teamers, we've got CISOs in this stream. It does not matter. We are here to discuss the industry impacts of the current landscape and the art of the possible when dealing with today's cybersecurity issues. So, whether you're an experienced veteran, thank you so much for being a part of this community and sharing your infinite amount of knowledge with everybody that is here. I do truly appreciate the experienced veterans that are here. If you are new to the field, welcome. Welcome. You have a home, you have a place here, a safe space where you could talk about and ask any question that you want. There is no question off limits. There's no question that is too new. Whether you barely know how to spell cyber or somebody who was born in cyber, this stream right here, this community, this team is for you. We're here for everybody to participate and learn from this community. This is our Friday AMA stream. I will be asking answering tons of questions. I won't be asking any questions. I'll be answering tons of questions. You can start to see people dropping questions in chat. Do me a favor, add the queue before it. It helps me search for the questions just in case we get lost or off track with questions. My only rule on questions. Listen, my only rule on questions is that you only ask it once. I promise you, we got tons of mods in stream. They are watching for your questions. The only rule is that you only ask your question once. I promise you that we do see them. Speaking of moderators, we do have moderators in chat. We are a heavily moderated chat. I want to personally thank my moderators each and every stream. I want to thank them for a year of hard work, dedication. Everybody throw some hype hands in the chat for the moderators. They are here tirelessly volunteering to make sure that we keep chat free of sexist, racist, misogynistic, elitist, and otherwise toxic behavior. We have a zero tolerance for toxicity on this stream. If you're new to this stream, you'll understand zero tolerance for toxicity. There is no try harder here. There is no, there is no, skitty talk. There is no, none of this, elitism that we see in the cybersecurity industry. This is a place where we don't tolerate that toxicity whatsoever. I trust my moderators and I trust their judgment explicitly, and their decision is final. If you are put on a timeout or a ban, you appeal to a moderator. You don't appeal to me. I don't pay attention to what the moderators do, which is why I trust them explicitly. They are not here, however, to stifle chat at all. They are here to make sure that your voices get heard. Now is a fantastic time to remind you to hit that exclamation point Discord so that you can get into the Discord server. Couple changes really quick while we're talking about Discord, okay? Actually, I'm going to get through my intro really first, and then I'll talk about that at the end of it, right? We regularly broadcast via YouTube for our regularly scheduled broadcast, but you can find our videos in the video section here on YouTube. Bottom line is hit those exclamation point socials, and do make sure you get hooked up with me on all of our social media accounts. That is how we do a lot of our stream notifications as well as news notifications and things like that. Is CloudBot acting up? Uh-oh. There we go. Let's see if that fixes CloudBot. I just kicked CloudBot underneath the desk. Let's see if that fixes CloudBot. If it doesn't, I'll have a moderator kick it or post it. Discord. Hopefully, anyway. We'll see how that goes. We are here for you, the community. We do strive to bring you the most intriguing opinions, points of view, and conversations in the cyber industry. I want to talk about that, right? When we talk about questions, you can literally ask me any question in the world. I really am completely impartial to the questions you ask me. People can ask me about tea, ask me about haircut, ask me about diet routine, ask me about cybersecurity, red team, blue team, risk and governance, legal. I will not give legal advice, but I will at least tell you what I've seen or heard. Law or cyber insurance, God, you name it, anything. I am the Chief Content Officer of I&E. I will answer I&E related questions. However, this is not, let me repeat this for the trolls and the shills out there, this is not an I&E official media outlet, okay? The only thing that I do here is I tell you my opinion, my personal views. I tell you what I can from my perspective of Chief Content Officer. I'll tell you the things that I'm authorized to tell you. You may get some cyber secrets out of me every now and then, but those are always officiated and encouraged by leadership, but from a senior executive leadership perspective. But I would take anything that I say I&E related as rumor until you officially see it come out on an I&E official channel. There are only I&E official social media channels. Those are on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Only official I&E media outlets, as well as the news list. So now that we've got that out of the way, I'd also like to thank our partners in no particular order. They are scrolling across in the marquee over here at the top. Partners are incredibly important to the success of the cyber insecurity stream. Partners do provide us with prizes and discounts for you. Case in point, Cyber Supply Drop, if CloudBot will eventually work. CSD, Cyber Supply Drop, is one who provides us with a lot of our giveaways on Friday. TAC IQ provides free training. We've got a, Friday brain fart. Query.ai is going to provide our I&E premium discount for today. And then we also have partners from inside the community that do supply content and giveaways as well. One other note on questions while I'm thinking about questions. When we talk about the questions, a lot of people get upset because I don't explicitly answer their question. And I've done this demo on stream before where I've shown you where all the questions get piled up into a queue. The moderators and myself, we go through those queues and we try to find the questions that we think, haven't been asked 100 times, that we don't have, that we've already provided answers for, some new unique questions, some questions that are thought-provoking and provide responses. We do not go in chronological order. Let me say that again. We do not go in chronological order to answer your question. We pull them out of a queue, we throw them up on screen, and we answer them in line with what we think keeps the conversation flowing. So we do try to get through as many questions as possible. We do try to get through as many questions as possible on our time on stream together. Is CloudBot still not working? Wow, what a morning. What a morning to have CloudBot break on us. We will try to restart CloudBot again and make sure CloudBot's working. If CloudBot doesn't work, We may not be able to do a giveaway today. I'm kidding. We'll find a way to do a giveaway. We will find a way to do a giveaway somewhere. We will find a way to do a giveaway. Let's check that Discord command really quick. Just because I thought that was super weird for that one to not work. That is like... that's because it's on a 60-second cooldown. That's probably why it wasn't working when you guys were spamming it. We'll see if that works. Let's see if that fixes it now. All right, let's head over to some questions. We do have a lot of giveaways to do today. We're going to try to... Listen, I don't have a time on this stream. We're going to roll through... we're going to roll through this stream as much as we can. I'm not really going to do like a specific time limit on this stream per se today. We're just kind of go and keep the hype flowing. Checking to see which moderator is actually in my ear. Okay, I don't have a moderator in my ear. All right, just making sure. Okay. All right, headed back over here, and let's do some questions. Awesome. Brian Godfrey says, if you could only learn one cloud platform, which would it be and why? Again, my take on this is very much that AWS still holds the majority market share of cloud infrastructure that is out there. And so I think that AWS is incredibly valuable to learn. I don't think you can go wrong with learning AWS. Azure is also incredibly valuable to learn as well. It's honestly a toss-up between those two, right? And here's the reason I say that. Most organizations, if you understand the history of how most organizations started using Azure, you'll understand what I'm talking about. When Microsoft first did Office 365, which had a lot of their Outlook, Word, everything in the cloud that they were doing, their entire Office suite, they started to give their customers who migrated Office 365 free access to Azure. This was before they were calling themselves a premier cloud provider. And so a lot of organizations started to play with Azure and started to play with the cloud services that are there in Azure. And then they realized that they could do as much in Azure as they could in AWS, and where they could, they migrated away from AWS and over to Azure. And then Microsoft came out and said, oh, cool, we're going to become this really awesome cloud provider. And so that's when they really kind of stepped out there and said, woot, we're a cloud provider. Welcome to the party, right? So bottom line is I think that there are a lot of organizations that use Azure. I don't think that Microsoft goes about it the same way that AWS does. They don't come out there and say, we're better than AWS in this way, that, or the other. They work on the fact that they are a wholly integrated cloud solution with a lot of Office 365 components. And so that's a long way around to say, I don't think that there is a wrong direction between Azure and AWS. I think if you had to pick one, you could win in both directions. But if you had to learn only one, to your question, Brian, I would pick AWS, but Azure is not far behind at all. Cybersec Bomb with the super chat. Thank you so very much. Glad to see you in chat as always. Pedro Gonzalez says, swaying a bit from direct learning, do you think dead drops as well-embedded pen drives pose an interesting P2P platform? I presume when you talk about dead drops and pen drives, you're talking about from a physical pen test perspective. I am bearish, if you will, on the effectiveness of pen drives, if you will. I think it has its place. I think you can be successful in utilizing those techniques, but I'm bearish on whether those are actually really, really good or not. For threat analysts, what topics, preparation, certs need to study? When you talk threat analysts, I assume that you're also talking about, just like a SOC analyst 1, incident response analyst, something like that. I'm always a huge fan. Rule number 1 is always, as Devno super chatted in there, do the free stuff first. Always, always, always do the free stuff first. So when we talk about free stuff for threat analysts, I'd still encourage you to go take Pen Tester Student. pen tester student at I&E, because every threat analyst needs to understand how hackers hack, and pen testing student does offer you that beginner level, understand the hacker mindset, understand how to do some entry level penetration testing stuff. So I think every SOC analyst, every threat analyst needs to know that stuff. Outside of that, incident response is key. And so when you're looking at the free stuff, I know Try Hack Me, I think Hack the Box has free blue teaming content. Cyberdefenders.org has free blue teaming content. And then I would just read every time that there is a breach report, you should be reading the breach reports. The breach reports have tons of valuable information when it comes to understanding what it is that you need to know from a threat analyst perspective, believe it or not. Hashtag Simply Cyber. Looks like we got a visit from our good friend Gerald Auger. If you've not followed my good friend Gerald Auger, make sure you do go over there, follow his show, Simply Cyber. He does a threat brief every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So this question about threat analysts, make sure you are following my buddy Gerald Auger, watching his threat briefs in the morning. Glad to see the Simply Cyber crew joining us this morning for Tea with a Hacker. Jerry, while you're here, just because I know you're here, personal thank you right here on stream to my boy Gerald Auger. You have been an amazing friend and an amazing collaborator. I have truly enjoyed partnering with you and working with you this last year. You're awesome, dude. Keep it up. All right, let's see here. I had one. I had a question that I was going to go next, but I didn't see where it was. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Hello, Happy New Year. I have a question. What happened to the live threat map that Neil used to share? It is still around. It is still around. It's been a crazy year, right? It's been a crazy year. We left Chicago in February, which was probably the last time you saw the live threat map was when we were in Chicago, in the studio in Chicago. And we moved halfway across the nation on the East Coast. And I'm working on my third studio redesign right now since we've been in the new house. And I haven't had time to, to get the threat map back up and running. But the threat map is something that I genuinely want to get back up and running as well. It is not forgotten, and I do want to bring it back. What is Cyber Supply Drop? Cyber Supply Drop is a nonprofit run by Josh Mason that seeks to partner with businesses to provide prizes and discounts that he then distributes out to a group of streamers. Myself, Gerald, I think there's a couple other streamers that are on his list as well. Biggest thing, go to LinkedIn, follow Cyber Supply Drop. Lots of good resources. I'm thankful to Josh for consolidating those into one place. Igo says, how's China rapid economic growth influence cybersecurity in the world? I don't think as much as you believe. I don't think it's as much as you believe. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that one. Not as much as you might think. Looks like Adrian and Gerald both asked me, what are your goals? What goals you set up for next year, Neil? Real quick, thanks Gabriel for the super chat. Set and smash those 2022 goals. We could talk a little bit about 2022 goals shortly. One of the things that I want to do, and it's something that we did at the end or about middle of Q1 last year, and we never followed up with it, is I'd love to do a community challenge around goals. That's one of the things that we've been working on in our downtime, is to try to find some more of those community challenge type of things that we can do to work on with goals, because we do think that goals are incredibly important. If anybody's and I'm gonna say this analogy and then I'm gonna butcher it, right? Your goals should be SMART, right? I think it's somebody who's smarter than me can do the full acronym, right? But it's like simple, measurable, actionable. You're supposed to be able to track them, right? All of this stuff, right? And so like, I think that everybody should be setting goals, and you should definitely be documenting your goals. I failed several of my goals for 21. So before we talk about like my goals for 2022, I do want to be open and honest, right? And say that I absolutely failed several of my goals for 21. The book is a fail. I'll say it here live officially. here on stream. The book is a fail. I made it through the outline process. Made it to the first chapter. Sat down to start to write the first chapter, and I decided it wasn't for me. And this is a shift. I wish somebody would go back and find the clip of me where I answered this question on stream months and months and months ago, where I talked about, like, it was always a goal of mine to write a book because people said that it was unachievable for me. But then when I actually sat down to write the book, I actually realized that I wasn't passionate about it. I wasn't passionate about writing the book. It was something that I saw as a checkbox item in my life and my career. And I realized that I was doing myself a disservice by not doing something that I was passionate in. So remember, all of last year, I talked about wanting to write a book. And I've now come to fortunately or unfortunately realize that I shouldn't do something if I'm not passionate about it. And so I wasn't passionate about writing the book, so I canceled the book. Instead, I'm going to bring that content here because that's what I'm passionate about. And so that's what I've really done, is I've looked to try to bring that content here so that you all can benefit from it as well. All right. I think one of my more specific goals that I've got for 22 is really to diversify and expand the content on the cyber and security stream. If I were to think about, like, stream goals, I want to diversify. I've got some stuff that I can't announce yet because I need to talk to the content authors and make sure that they're okay with it. But I've got some stuff that should be pretty wicked from a stream perspective that I'm excited to share with everybody. I think non-stream related, I've got about 10 more pounds to go on my healthy hacker journey. Use that hashtag healthy hacker, join our Discord, and participate in some of the healthy hacker stuff. I've got about 10 more pounds to go before I'm satisfied with my journey there. And I think it's just I want to grow I&E so much. I want to pour more of my heart and soul into I&E. It's just, I do have a lot. We could talk more about goals probably in a dedicated stream where maybe we do some goals up together. But I've got quite a bit. How can I start my own company in cybersecurity? Honestly, just start it. But listen, this is an interesting thing, right? I oftentimes see people say, "Hey, Neil, I'm new at cybersecurity. Can I go start my own company?" My answer to that is you can, but you got to think about it from a realistic perspective. Like, how realistic is it going to be for some of these companies to hire you to do cybersecurity when you don't know much about cybersecurity yourself? How are you going to be able to attest that an organization is secure if you don't understand the basics of security yourself? And so I would caution people who say, I can't find a job. I don't know how to get my first job in cybersecurity. I don't know anything about cybersecurity. I don't know much about cybersecurity. Should I start my own company? I don't think that's the way that you get your first job in cybersecurity, by starting your own company. I think that that's kind of a roundabout way to do it, right? I think that's... I applaud anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur. Literally, like, I genuinely do, because Lord knows I've been down that path. I'm still on that path, and it's painful. But at the same time, that's not the answer to, I can't find a job in cybersecurity. How do I get started? I'm going to start my own company. That's not the answer to that. Just as a follow-on to that one, you could hire some good professionals along with your new company, though. You could, but then you're running a business, not learning cybersecurity, right? Let's keep it in perspective. If I have to run the business and I have to start hiring people, listen, one of the biggest things that I came to realize, right, being an entrepreneur, and I actually learned this from John Strand when I was mentoring with John Strand, right? And Dave Shackelford, who's another SANS instructor, him and I had this conversation as well, and we talked about this too, right? And it really boils down to, if you want to start a cybersecurity company and you want to do all the work yourself, if you don't land clients that month, you're the only person that you got to worry about getting a paycheck to. That's it. You're only accountable to yourself. If you started a cybersecurity company today and you're like, I'm going to hire 3 of my best friends who are really, really smart in cybersecurity to come do cybersecurity with me in this company so it can be successful, guess what you're doing? You're a CEO, and your job is to execute on the business drivers of the company, which means you're out there getting new business, which means it's on your shoulders if you can't pay your people, which means it's on your shoulders if you don't have new business coming through. So you're not learning cybersecurity at that point in time. You're running a business. And so if your goals are to run a business, yeah, starting a cybersecurity business could be fun for you. Hire a bunch of smart people to surround yourself with. Maybe you learn through osmosis as you do your business work, but you're not going to be hands-on keyboard working, learning cybersecurity while you're running a cybersecurity business. So just some, again, I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from doing it. It is an admirable venture, and Lord knows there's a ton of opportunity. Listen, one of the things that I talk about when I talk about running a business, right? There is so much work in cybersecurity. I don't care what part of cybersecurity you're in. There is more work, right, than we could ever shake a stick at. Like, if you checked out my Twitter account, I posted up a tweet the other day that talked about competition. I cheer my competitors on, and I actually learned this when I was again from some of my mentors at SANS, where I would actually watch them pass pen testing work between all of them because they weren't worried about the competition, because there's so much work going around. Somebody would get asked to do a pen test and they'd be like, I just don't have the bandwidth, and they would send that pen test over to a friend. It amazes me in this industry, and I say this from personal fact, right? I have tried to send pen testing business to some of my competitors in this space. And I crap you not, I've had my competitors turn down business from me because it came from me. That's how much business there is in this space, right? That you can turn down business out of a petty pet peeve of somebody, right? That's how much business there is in this space. So I will always cheer for my competition. I will always make sure that you all are taken care of. And if I got business that I can't do, I'll be more than happy to send it to you, but only if I feel confident in your business. And that is the type of like friendly competition, encouraging competition that I think we need more of in this space. Small tangent there. That was a small soapbox. We can do like 1 or 2 soapboxes for that one. That was a small soapbox. For wanting to be a red or blue teamer, do you think Pentest Plus or CYSA Plus is a good comb for certs? Already have Sec Plus, or would you recommend different certs? I'm not a fan of any CompTIA cert. Like, do I think those certs are fine? I think those certs are fine, but I hate CompTIA certs. I hate every single one of those certs you listed there. Would I recommend any of those certs to you? Absolutely not. The certs that I would recommend to you are the INE certs, and this is, again, take it for what it's worth, right? The reason I could have gone back to SANS and taught for SANS. I could have gone to any other educational institute, taught for any educational institute. I was contracting with INE before I got hired full-time, and I chose to come to INE. It's because I see the quality and I see the value of the certs. Is it a gatekeeping cert? It will be. It will be. We've got some plans in 22 to get out there and put that stuff in front of more recruiters, more HR folks, things like that, so that it does have that industry recognition. The same that Pentest Plus and CYSA Plus and things like that do. But in terms of knowing content material, you can't lose the INE stuff. And again, I said this on I just did a recording with David the other day. You watch for a new video with David coming out next week with me in it. But my statement, right? My mentality, the thing that I will always encourage everybody to do, right, is chase knowledge, not certs, right? Chase the knowledge, don't chase the cert. And that's it. And so just because there was this one was follow-up, explain why I hate Pentest Plus. Because I don't feel the knowledge that's gained, right? I don't feel like what you get at the end of that cert actually moves you in a direction that actually is good for your career, right? Just because a cert is a gatekeeping cert doesn't mean you gain knowledge, right? If a cert was a gatekeeping cert and you gain knowledge, then everybody would be raving about CEH. You know why everybody hates CEH? because all the pen testers that are out there will tell you that you don't actually gain any real world knowledge of what's happening in the pen testing space that's out there. And so this is why I tell you to chase knowledge. Don't look at a cert and say, should I get Pen Test Plus? I don't know. Did you look at the syllabus and did you identify that there are things in that syllabus that you don't know? Well, yes, I did. Okay, then how many other syllabuses across all of the other pen testing stuff did you look at to determine whether you needed that knowledge across other content areas as well, right? Because I could tell you that eJPT is better than Pen Test Plus and it has hands-on. I'll even go so far as to say OSCP is better than Pen Test Plus, not because it's up here from a skill level perspective, but because it's practical, it's hands-on. I would say that almost anything else that is practical and hands-on based that actually talks about real-world pen testing is better than Pen Test Plus. That's why I hate it, is because I don't think you're actually improving your knowledge base by taking Pen Test Plus. If you're coming to this channel wanting me to tell you the certs that you need to get past gatekeepers, you are in the wrong channel. I am not an advocate for gatekeeping certs. Go talk to somebody else, right? I am an advocate for knowledge. I am an advocate for knowledge. And I don't think you gain the knowledge in Pen Test Plus that you need to be successful in cybersecurity as an industry. As an industry. Right? It's about being successful, not today. It's not about being successful in the immediate need that you have from pen testing. It's about how are you successful in this industry. And I don't think Pen Test Plus gets you there. And so I'm bearish. Like, there are so many other better certifications out there that come after you've gained knowledge. And I think that there are other content producers, and this is why my rule number one is always go do the free stuff first. I saw the whole Cyber Human Initiative, right? Talk about Nmap Plus, right? Why would you ever pay somebody to learn Nmap, right? Unless you just generally love that creator, why would you ever pay somebody to learn Nmap, right? Or Hydra, right? Why? There's so much free content on YouTube that covers these topics. Why would you ever pay somebody how to learn a tool? You want to pay somebody to teach you how to do something that can only come from having done the job. That's what I mean by chasing knowledge, right? You can't learn how to do pen testing from somebody who's never done pen testing. You can't learn how to do instant response from somebody who's never learned how to do instant response. And I don't care what some of these other folks out there say that they've done, right? When you get so big and so massive and you're commoditizing your content at the rate that some of these content producers are producing them, and I put this in line with and I won't name names on stream. I've named too many already as it is. But when you think about some of these content producers, right? They're commoditizing it, right? And so like be picky. You all listen. And I say this, okay, this has definitely turned into a soapbox. This has definitely turned into a soapbox about certifications. I told myself that I wouldn't do this. Told myself I wouldn't do this. I promised myself I would cry. Speak with your wallet. If the content sucks, stop buying it. Right? Don't let gatekeepers determine how you spend your money. Right? Gatekeepers should not be telling you, you must spend $8,000 on a SAN cert or we won't hire you. Right? Cybersecurity is the only industry that I know of that's like, no, for an entry-level job, you must have not only a BS investment, but then you gotta have another $8,000 of your own money on top of that, and then somehow you had to find your own way to get your own experience before we'll hire you for a job? No, we gotta stop letting the gatekeepers drive the demands of the industry, because they don't know what the industry needs. You all know what the industry needs. You all on the front lines know what the industry needs. Ugh. And this is true. This is true, Tay, right? As long as gatekeeping exists, we'll have a hard time entering this field. Without the cert, we are stuck. That is not true. That is not true. I empathize with you. I really do empathize with you, but you are not stuck. This community, poll anybody in this community, right? And there are test cases, there are use cases, there are proven examples in this community of people who have gotten jobs that don't have the certs that you're talking about, that haven't paid $8,000, that don't have Pen Test Plus, that don't have Sec Plus. There are people in this community. That's why this community is so successful that it is because we show you the ways to hack the system so that you can find those opportunities. Right? Don't let yourself get in the way of your own success. Don't let yourself get in the way of your own success. Oh my God, we're getting everybody in on the soapbox, right? Like, and this is why I'm also bearish on boot camps, dude. I hate boot camps. Like, you want to see me rage hardcore? Let's start talking about boot camps. I cannot stand boot camps for this reason. Like, I've got mad respect for WGU. I really do. They've produced some really great friends and some really great community members coming out of WGU. But all WGU does in most cases is say, well, we're going to go take these 5 or 6 certifications. And now you've got a BS in cybersecurity. It's like, why? Why would you do that? Right? You know why they would do that? Because it's easier for them to outsource because they can't retain instructor talent. Because they understand that finding people who have done the job that are willing to teach is hard. And again, this is why I'm passionate about I&E, is because we have people who love this industry, who love to teach, who want to teach you. We don't have people who are there because it's a job, right? We got people who are passionate about teaching. Those are the people that you want to learn from because they're going to share that knowledge. They're going to share that knowledge with you. Last one, just because I saw it, Jerry, because I knew he was going to talk about it. I don't. I'll bring Jerry on stream, right? And we'll talk about PhDs all day long. But I'm bearish on PhDs. I think PhDs are a waste of time. I think master's degrees are a waste of time. I think bachelor's degrees are a waste of time. And I'm not advocating for anybody drop out of any program. Let me set that straight. I'm not advocating for anybody drop out of any program. But if you were to ask me, do I think that you need a bachelor's, a master's, or a PhD? Jerry, I applaud you. Joel, for getting your PhD. Lord knows the work that you all put into those. Super proud of you for it. Do I think you need that in cybersecurity? Absolutely not. As Jerry said, it's a personal life goal, and that's why I applaud you, because there is a lot of hard work that goes into doing your PhD, but I do not think it is required for cybersecurity. I&E has blue team certifications. How would you rate I&E blue team certifications compared to security blue team certifications, BTL? I would call our blue team certifications more cognitive based right now than demonstrative based. I think that that'll change in the future with some of the work that we're doing with Pen Tester Academy. I think it'll change. I'd say use it for the cognitive based training. Use BTLO for the demonstrative based training, at least for a little while. At least till we get some more of the PTA labs converted over. I really wish I knew my cloud bot was not working this morning. All right, back over here to questions. What are your thoughts on Itil certifications? Meh, not required, waste of time. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't be that bad about it. I mean, cool, not required. Again, if you want the knowledge, go for it. Soft skills versus hard skills. What is the best ratio? I heard 15% hard skills, 85% soft skills. Is it real? Anyway, in the end, hard skills is what moved the train. Ego, that's an interesting... I've never heard anybody break it down in terms of like the percentage of hard and soft skills. I would disagree on hard skills moving the train. I would vehemently disagree with hard skills moving the train. And here's the reason why, right? Your hard skills don't communicate to leadership. Nobody at the C level can see what you do on the hard skills. And if they can't see it, and if they can't put a dollar figure, guess what your budget's going to be that year for cybersecurity? Big fat old goose egg, right? So I would disagree. You know, it's easy. I think there's a saying, right? When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. When you're a pen tester, pen testing looks like the solution to everything, right? When you're a blue teamer, blue teaming looks like the solution to everything, right? And that's just not the case. And so it very, very much is more, whoops, I didn't mean to send that one. It very, very much is more about the soft skills. So if anything, I would say at a minimum, 50-50 mix of hard and soft skills. But I'm an advocate for more soft skills than hard skills, right? When you talk to pen testers, they're going to tell you the side that makes them happy, which is the pen testing side of things. But they're not going to tell you the countless hours that they spend working on reports or spend in meetings, right? That they spend in meetings trying to convey to a client the meaning of a particular exploit. And all of that is soft skill related, right? And so I think everybody should strive for 50-50 at a minimum, but I think you're going to quickly find that the more you talk to your stakeholders, whether it's red team, blue team, or risk and governance, those soft skills become much, much, much more important. Much more important. Just because I saw Josh mention it in chat. Those of you who are joining Discord, thank you for the reminder. We had an incident. We've had 2 incidents now where people have tried to cheat the system when it comes to the giveaways. Right? We've had 2 instances where people have tried to cheat the system when it comes to giveaways. As a result, we've now instituted a new requirement. It was a requirement before, but we loosely adhered to it. There is a new requirement that we are now going to strictly adhere to. If your Discord name is not linked to your YouTube account, and you can hit !subscriber in Discord, and that'll actually show you how to do that in Discord. If your YouTube and your Discord are not linked together, and you do not have it so that a moderator can verify when they click on your profile in Discord that your YouTube name is linked to your Discord profile, you'll be ineligible for a giveaway. And this is because we've had too many people try to cheat the system for a freaking 1-month try hack me pass. Right? We give so much away. We've had people try to cheat the system. So if you're joining Discord, take the few minutes right now to link your Discord and your YouTube and make sure that you know, when you look at your profile, it is shown down there at the bottom of your profile that your YouTube and your Discord are linked together. Otherwise, you will be ineligible for the giveaway. Thank you for the reminder on that, Josh. Appreciate you. I just turned CloudBot off for like the last 5 minutes. If a moderator wants to check CloudBot. Why did I need to delete Palo Alto Network's firewall from cybersecurity learning path? Probably because it falls mostly into the networking learning path versus the cybersecurity learning path. The learning paths are getting some restructuring, so don't be surprised if you see some more of that. But most of the Palo Alto stuff was network-based with a few cybersecurity-related stuff. A lot of that will get cleared up as we get further and further down the career paths journey, and you'll see that. I'm shaking my head at the bot. Can you give a breakdown of how much we should charge for pen test? What should a pen test package include? Can you please point to a good resource for further research on this? Interesting question, Seraph. That's going to vary, obviously, from region to region. It's going to vary from pen tester skill to pen tester skill. The reason you can't find that information is because that information is hard to come by, right? Most people aren't going to talk about their pay charts because it's competitive information, right? And so most people aren't going to talk about it. How much should you charge for a pen test? Again, your time is valuable, right? And so you should charge, right? The biggest things to take into consideration is the cost of your goods and what the market will bear. I can't go to a certain area of the United States and expect to charge people 3x, what I would charge somebody in, in the great city of New York, right? Where they're used to paying higher prices. And so I think you have to take what the market will bear into consideration. You have to take, what you're capable of being able to sustain from an income perspective and figure that out. What should pen test packages include? When I was writing our statements of work for several of the companies that I've helped stood up and several of the pen testing teams that I've helped stood up, I actually got away from this idea of like an external pen test, an internal pen test, a Wi-Fi pen test, a social engineering pen test. Just because if you give somebody a menu and an external pen test is only $5,000, and they're like, well, my budget for a pen test is only $5,000. Looks like I'm only going to do an external pen test. You as a pen tester are over there going, that's not going to cut it. I know that there are ways into this organization. I know I can fish this organization. I know I can fish this organization. And so this is what I talk about being on the business side. Now you're going to have to put on your sales hat, right? Because now you got to sell them that they need a phishing pen test, that they need an internal pen test. What happens if you get access to a machine and you want to see if you can get domain admin? Now you got to sell them on an internal pen test. Now, what if they buy an internal pen test and then you don't get in? Now they've overpaid the internal pen test and you never got in. Now you got to figure out how you get to their site to do an internal pen test so you can give them an internal pen test when they get done. See how confusing that can get from a business perspective? I actually found a lot of success when I actually only sold one pen test price, right? Here's the price of your pen test. We're going to scale it based on time. We're going to scale it based on reach. We're going to scale it based on how big of an organization you are. So I had a lot more success doing it that way. And I just made the scope as you're paying for a bucket of hours, basically like a lawyer retainer, right? And it's like, you're going to pay me to see what I can get done in 40 hours worth of testing. I log my time and I do 40 hours worth of testing. All right, cool. All right, we got through 40 hours worth of testing. You want to pay for another 40 hours? You want to go ahead and write a report on this, right? So I find that to be a much more effective business strategy because doing it the other way, I don't think is the effective way to do it. Don't think that's the effective way to do it. How do you stay determined after a job interview rejected you? Wasn't the right fit. And that's okay. Right? Wasn't the right fit. And that is A-okay. That is A-okay. That is A-okay. That is A-okay. Listen, it's easier said than done, right? Nobody likes to be rejected. I'm trying to be empathetic on this one, right? Because like I understand that it's always hard, but it's like it's really okay. It's actually really, really okay to get rejected because you don't want to be at an organization that doesn't want you. right? Maybe you dodged a bullet. Maybe that organization was going to fire you a few weeks later, right? Maybe, who knows, right? I don't think it should matter. There is so much work out there that if you listen, I've been rejected. It's okay. It really is okay. It happens. I promise you. It's super cool. It's super cool to get rejected. You just weren't a right fit. Maybe you were too good for their job. Maybe they looked at your resume. Listen, it's not uncommon. It is not uncommon for somebody to look at your resume and be like, that person is overqualified for this job. Did you ever think about that? I don't know what resume you're putting out. I don't know what job you're applying for, but did you ever stop to think that maybe you're overqualified for the job that you're applying for? You would never know that either. But why don't you think about that? I got rejected because I'm overqualified. It looks like I need to go challenge myself a little bit more. Maybe I need to bump up my expectations of where I think I am in the job market. Right? Think about it. Don't look at a glass half empty scenario when it comes to why am I getting rejected for jobs? Right? Change your perspective. We're all about changing perspective in this stream. There's nothing wrong with getting rejected. Nothing wrong with getting rejected. What's your take on Web 3.0 and should we start to play with it now? Yes. Yes, listen. It has amazed me. It's amazed me how many tweets I've seen just in the last 48 hours of people bashing Web 3.0. And it floors me. Now listen. David and I are going to do a video on this. I'm trying to think about trying to think about how much to give away to a video. We're going to do an NFT video. Do I think pixelated cat pictures are stupid? Do I think pixelated cat pictures selling for $3 million that don't have a program attached to it are stupid? Yes. Yes. Do I think that supporting the artist, right, is a cheesy reason for people to do NFTs? Meh. Artists are trying to get recognized just like every other musician, just like every other Picasso, just like every other, performing artist, just like every other movie actor, every artist, even content creators, myself, Gerald, right? Insert your favorite content creator out there right now is thinking of things today to do to get themselves recognized. You may not like NFTs as a way to get themselves recognized because you think selling, pixelated cat pictures for $3 million is a waste of money. That's okay. That artist just got recognized for $3 million. You don't have to appreciate that, right, to recognize that that's a thing, right? And that's what I would always encourage you on. And so, do I think Web 3.0 is a thing? Yes. And you may hate pixelated cat GIFs getting sold for $3 million. But if you're not educating yourselves on the utility and the possibilities of NFTs, I will definitively say this, you are behind the curve. You are behind the curve, right? And here's the reason why. I was just reading the other day a research paper that was put together on how NFTs could change the identity and access management strategies of organizations. There is a project going on in Africa where they're using blockchain to create identities that folks can use in a national healthcare system in Africa. Right? There is so much. Listen, all my gamers out there, all you gamers out there who have played World of Warcraft or Fortnite or Battlefield, Activision or Epic Games, right? They own that intellectual property. They own that skin that you put on your Fortnite character. What if you owned it? How many Season 1 Fortnite players are in chat right now that have got a skin, or any season prior to this skin, who have got a skin that is unattainable? Right? How about if you could sell that? How about if you owned that as an NFT if you owned that as an NFT, if the rights were given to you because you owned it as an NFT and you could sell that skin yourself as an NFT to anybody that was out there, right? If you're not taking the concept of NFT and blockchain now, and this is different. I'd love to find a stream where last year somebody asked me a question about NFTs, or excuse me, not NFTs, blockchain, and I was incredibly bearish on blockchain. I was like, we're nowhere near utilization. And then this NFT thing starts to pick up. And then you start to see people innovate and think about how to change this. And now you start to see all these projects come out. Now you start to see all these innovative ways that they can use the blockchain hit the mainstream. Now I think blockchain is going to be big in 22. I saw somebody ask for a 2022 prediction. You're going to see more Web 3.0. You're going to see more blockchain stuff hitting. Absolutely. I'm looking into it. And not to sell a $3 million cat pixel. I wouldn't mind, but I'm not definitely doing that. But, I think that there's I think that there is something there to do it. I saw somebody ask something. I saw somebody ask something that was pretty funny. Here it is. When is your first broadcast in the metaverse? I am actually looking. One of the things I'll let you know right now. One of the things that we are looking at some of the different land purchase, opportunities in the metaverse to build a cyber insecurity studio in the metaverse to do I don't know. I have no idea if it's going to be good or not. I'm not going to preach that it's going to be good, but I'm going to try it out. You know why I'm going to try it out? Because that's how I learn the flaws. That's how I learned how to hack it. That's how I learned how to defend it. That's how I learned how I could use it in cybersecurity strategy. I am the type of person where I have to play with the technology to figure out if it's going to be something that we can utilize or not, right? And so, yeah, I'm gonna be doing a broadcast in the metaverse. I'm gonna be doing some NFTs. I'm trying to talk with some artists now to help me work on some NFT art that's gonna have utility to them. And for everybody else that's out there bashing, here's what I said. I mentioned 48 hours. Last 48 hours, I've seen a ton of people bashing on NFTs and Web 3.0 and the metaverse on Twitter. Here's what I say to them. Copy those tweets, take screenshots of them, and in a year, right, when Web 3.0 is the next big thing, talk about tweets that didn't age very well. Those are going to be the tweets that didn't age very well, right? When you're on the front lines of blockchain security, when you're on the front lines of being, understanding the utility of NFTs and things like that, those tweets aren't going to age very well. With the rise of NFTs, won't blockchain exploits rise as well? And again, if people weren't this Residual, you're one of my you're one of my favorites in the stream. Don't tell anybody else that. But this is how I can tell you're not researching NFTs. There was recently a bug bounty, a $2 million bug bounty, paid out to a researcher because they found a flaw in Matic's blockchain that had gone unnoticed, that had allowed hackers to siphon off about $3 million worth of money off the Matic blockchain, which is one of the first real blockchain-specific exploits that I've heard about in the wild for a long time. Right? And so, do I think that blockchain exploits will rise? Yes. Now that we have a bug bounty payout of a known Matic exploit, yeah, 100%. Absolutely. And again, I'm not advocating for no research, right? You should always research. There was somebody who reached out to me, again, ever since I talked about doing NFTs and ever since I put cyber insecurity up on OpenSea, I now get spammed with NFT people all the time who want me to look at their project. But I've learned how to research good NFT and good Web 3.0 projects before I invest in it. I would highly encourage people to read post about people who are finding good projects to invest in, having a roadmap, having a robust roadmap, having a meaningful roadmap, things like that. Those are all things that make those projects really, really awesome. So yes, you should absolutely do look at those projects. So that was a little bit of a rabbit trail. On that one as well. All right. Going back to my question list here. Anil is so humble with his partners. This is one small thing that makes this community great. Awesome shout out to Jerry. I'll text Jerry later and be like, "Where's my shout out in your stream?" I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I love Jerry. He really is awesome. Thank you for calling me humble. I appreciate it. Mr. Baz, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, what would you say the best part of 2021 was for you? You didn't think I was going to say that, did you? You didn't think I was going to go that one all the way down, did you? Best part of 21, you all. Dead serious. You all. I think you all hanging out with me every stream. The guests, dude, we have had some amazing guests. We've had some amazing guests this year. We've had Alyssa Knight, recovering hacker, movie star, producer. Obviously, all of our partner guests have been amazing. We've had Jerry on the stream twice this year. We've had David on the stream. David Bomble's been on the stream. I don't think that we've had a terrible stream this year. The best part of 21 is waking up with the Folgers in my cup. You all, I'm serious. You all make it awesome. As cheesy as that sounds, this community keeps me going. Josh Mason, when is the new PTS content getting published? We do have new PTS content that is in the works. New PTS content will be going up on the platform sometime soon. Q1, I'm hoping, if everything goes well. The mods are, I'm stalling a little bit. The mods are working on some giveaway stuff in the background, which is why I haven't run the giveaway yet, but we will still be attempting to do a giveaway this morning. The mods are very, very, and again, this is why I give hype hands to the mods. They are working in the background to try to facilitate the giveaway for this morning. And so I do want to thank my mods very, very much for this. Be patient with today's giveaway. I don't know why CloudBot all of a sudden decided to stop working. We will add that to the troubleshooting item. We will get it fixed for the next stream. So I do ask for an immense amount of patience for this morning's giveaway. We will be doing a giveaway. It will be a different format than what we're used to doing, just because CloudBot is giving us a hard time this morning. So thanks to my mods for assisting with that. Dev knows in. Why is sub chat the best place to hang out after work? Speaking of sub chat, right? I want to make sure, like, we have a lot of members, we have a lot of subscribers on the stream. Make sure everybody's aware of, like, it's easy to come to the stream, and I do appreciate everybody coming to the stream. Discord isn't just a place for giveaways, right? We've got over 4,000 members on this Discord, all varying skill levels, from experience down to beginner, who are trying to help you be wherever it is that you need to be, whether it's a sounding board, whether it's career advice, certification advice, anything like that. When we talk about Discord, there's lots of advantages to our Discord, right? And I'm not saying that our Discord is the end all be all, but just in case you're thinking, oh, this is just another Discord, I'm just going to join it for the giveaway and then close it, right? Look at some of the rooms that we have there, right? We have resource repositories. We've got list of resources. We had somebody come in Discord the other day looking for resources on threat hunting. Boom. They were able to be pointed right to a resource in the resource repository. We have a LinkedIn connection lounge where you can get connected with your fellow cyber and security members. Excuse me, I got choked up for a second there. I don't know why. We have a mental health room, right? Because we take mental health very seriously, especially here in the cybersecurity business, where we talk about things like burnout and stress and work stress and things like that. And so we have a mental health room. We have an imposter syndrome room where we encourage folks to share their stories of imposter syndrome. So to the folks who are like, how do I not get discouraged when I get rejected from a job? Go read other stories of people who are willing to share their imposter syndrome experiences and gain confidence, right, from their stories, so that you can understand what you need to do to be better in your journey, right? We have capture the flag rooms, right? We give open access to people who are participating in capture the flags together. We have a capture the flag looking for group, right? So if you need a partner for a red team or a blue team capture the flag, we've got a looking for group channel, so you can come find partners who want to do capture the flags with you. To Dev's point, we have a subscriber chat. We should probably actually change that to member chat, where if you are a Narwhal Prime member, you get access to a community group chat, the only community group chat that is on Discord, where I oftentimes hang out. A lot of our team members, hang out there as well. And so it gives you voice access to hear from directly after hours, after the stream ends, times during the week, in the evenings, after work. Most nights during the week, there's anywhere from 5 to 15 people in sub chat, right? Talking about everything from the color of the sky to cybersecurity related. And so if you are a member, and if you're not exercising your member perks, I would highly, highly encourage you to come hang out in sub chat with the team and learn a lot from what it is that we have to offer in sub chat. I can fire up Nightbot, but Nightbot giveaways are terrible. We've done Nightbot giveaways, and they are utterly miserable. Okay. Are you ready to are you ready to do the giveaway now? Okay. Alrighty then. So let's we'll start with an easy one. Josh, and we'll test out your method. So just so everybody can understand how awesome this is going to be, #worstmod has solved the giveaway problem. I got ultimate faith in my boy Josh Mason that he solved our giveaway problem. Look, everybody's hitting raffle yet. We don't even know what's going on, right? Or is it okay? All right. We're going to give away Adrian Cantrell's All the Things Cloud. Josh Mason has the ball. He'll tell you in chat how to enter into the giveaway for that. So Josh Mason has the ball. We're going to give away an Adrian Cantrell's All the Things. That giveaway is going on right now. We'll let that one run for a little while. I'll tell Josh when to stop it. Brian's got it. Whatever Josh says to do in chat, do what Josh says. Opinion about Google Cloud over AWS and Azure. Google Cloud has the lowest market share. Really, only the data scientists and the like are actually using Google Cloud. I mean, I think it'll gain adoption just like everything else. I just don't think it's going to gain a lot of adoption. I think they're late to the curve. It's fine. I mean, if you're doing easy peasy stuff, listen, if you're looking at home labs, I think Google Cloud is the cheapest and easiest way to get started. I think Google Cloud is the cheapest and easiest way to get started. Do I think from a career perspective, should you focus on Google Cloud? No, absolutely not. This is a good question. Should Amber's Magical Garden in small spaces? I love that. That is a cute name. I love that name. Is that your garden? Am I looking at your garden on the picture? Look at that garden. Should you have your resume professionally done to change career paths? No. I don't think you should pay anybody to do your resume. As a matter of fact, go to my YouTube channel. I have an ultimate career guide set of YouTube videos that talks about personal branding. And your resume and your LinkedIn. I think that those are better resources. And in addition, we also do monthly LinkedIn and resume roast. And on our cyberinsecurity.tv website, we do have a resume rubric. I think all of those things are pretty well laid out based on our feedback from recruiters, based on our feedback from hiring managers, based on our feedback from the community. I think that is good enough that you can save a buck and not pay somebody to have your resume professionally redone. I'm going to be a hard advocate for no. Don't have your resume professionally redone for a career change. Just because I saw another question from Amber, I'm confused. What should be my first job in cyber? I'm in school for cybersecurity. I'm currently a dealer in a casino for 7 years in. Before I was an admin in accounting and worked for DHS. I mean, I think your first role in cyber, right? When we talk about first roles in cyber, It's anything from SOC analyst, incident response analyst, junior penetration tester, GRC analyst, IT auditor, as mostly a shoehorn into cybersecurity. Yeah, I think those are the general job tiers that I would look at for your first job into cyber. I think it's pretty simple from there. Like once you get one of those roles, I think it's pretty easy to pivot and move throughout from there. Sake says, when is the best time to search for internship, and is there a remote internship that you recommend? No, remote internships are hard. I'd be seriously impressed if you can find remote internships. Not to say they don't exist. I just think they're going to be hard to find. When is the best time to search for an internship? Whenever you feel like you have the time to commit to an internship. Brandon coming through. Thank you very much, Brandon. That's a fantastic point. Brandon coming through with cybersecurity sales as a first job. I think that is an absolutely fair statement. Cybersecurity sales or cybersecurity sales engineer. I didn't think about those because I usually have a tendency to forget about the sales side. It pains me, but I do get it. I know why it's there. All right, let's see what we got here. Rami says, hey, Neil, can you tell us some of your social engineering experiences and techniques as you're amazing at doing it, buddy? If I'm amazing at doing it, I hope that doesn't mean that you were on the receiving end of any of that. Just kidding. Listen, I don't know. I don't know how to teach social engineering. That's one of those things, right? And here's the hard part with it, right? And again, with everything that I give, I like to give stories, right? When I was at one of the big four that I was working for, they had asked me to stand up a pen testing team in the Midwest, right? And we had gotten an engagement. We'd gotten an engagement, and one of the parts of the engagement was a social engineering component. And we had done our pretext, and we had staged the social engineering. What it was a university, and they obviously had a university public directory on their website. They also posted all of their announcements on the website as well. And so we had happened to see that they were doing a mandatory IT technology software refresh, and it was publicly listed on their public IT website. So what we had done is we'd bought an Italian domain, because Italian domains end in .it. It ended up being like $150, I think, for an Italian domain. So we bought a .it domain, and we had basically registered the prefix for the university .it, and we had scraped their webpage and stood up a similar webpage to their IT department, and we had included a download for, at the time, we were heavily invested in Empire for a C2 framework, and so we were using Empire C2, and so that was the malware that we were getting them to download. Anyway, see, this is why this is a rabbit hole. So one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted us all in the room, right? Because what we were going to do is we were going to call all of the administrators of all the department heads, and we were going to tell them that we were from IT, and we needed them to go to the university.it website, download the patch, and install the patch. So we're all in this conference room doing this together. And I went first so that I could demonstrate for the team how to do it, and I went first. And the next guy, was right behind me. He said, okay, cool, I got this, I could do this. He was successful in getting his mark. We got to the third person, right? And this person is a fantastic pen tester. To this day, I'd still hire this guy to do pen testing for me. He was fantastic. He was the one who actually introduced me to ELS back in the day, eLearn Security back in the day, because I had never heard of them. So he was a brilliant pen tester. He said, I can't do it. I can't do it, Neil. I said, why not? And he goes, I just watched you lie straight-faced to some poor, helpless human, convince them to install malware for us to do this pen test. And I said, yeah, that's social engineering. And he was like, I fundamentally, as a person, can't do that. And it was the first time in my career that I had actually encountered somebody who morally, ethically, mentally, psychologically couldn't put themselves into a pathological liar scenario to do a social engineering exercise over the phone. So when you talk about like social engineering experiences and techniques, being able to be a pathological liar on command is a hard skill to teach in a class. Like I can teach anybody how to use set. I could teach anybody how to use, the beef framework, right? Or anything like that. But to teach somebody how to pick up a phone and be a pathological liar to another human being on the phone and convince them to do something, yeah, I've struggled with understanding how to teach that technique. So, all joking aside, right? It is something that you do have to research your target. You do have to research your mark. You do have to have a good pretext. You got to have that ability to be able to turn on that ability inside of you to say, I'm going to scam you. Maybe that's a different way to put it, right? If you're thinking about like, how do I develop my social engineering techniques? How do I develop my ability to scam you? We will never advocate for doing anything illegal on this stream. So what I'm about to advise you, and I'm not a legal expert, and so I'm not going to say that it is legal or it is not legal. I'm not an advocate for scamming by any stretch of the imagination, but there are little nuances, right, that if you're presented with an opportunity, look for those opportunities to try to social engineer. And I'll give you an example. I try to social engineer myself into upgraded rooms in hotels all the time. All the time. Like I'll walk up to a checkout counter and I'll check in and I'll be like, I just flew in. I've been on an 18-hour flight. I'm tired. It'd be really, really nice if you could get me into a nicer room. Like I don't want to I don't want to sleep on a twin bed. Is there a king bed that you got available? Or, do you got something with an oceanfront view, something I could watch? I'd really, really appreciate it, right? Those little types of nuances and things like that. I'd encourage you to do things like that. Those are fun little activities to do, but, that's really it. Your fellow human being apparently won the giveaway. So if your fellow human being, please message Josh Mason if you're still around. I like that name too. That is a good name as well. It's hard. It is hard, right? I don't know how else to describe it other than pathological liar, right? I mean, you got to turn it on. You got to turn it on. Callie, 4 months with the membership. I appreciate your constant support and your friendship as well. Chelsea, see, again, we talk about any questions. I love it. I love it. Building a gaming setup for my son. He's 8. This year, a fun project, and he's going to learn the ins and outs while it's in progress. Any recommendations for good quality headsets? I just got these in. Odysseys. So far, so good. These are the Mobius right here. I've been using these for my gaming rig as well. If you're interested in those, I would say don't buy them yet. I might be able to get you a discount code here in the future, but go check out their website. So far, I've been really impressed with them. Otherwise, I think for an 8-year-old, a good Logitech headset, more than enough. More than enough. When I say questions, you literally ask me any question. It does. I mean, listen. I'm out of tea. There goes the tea. It is Human Hacker. It is hacking humans, right? And so you have to be psychologically in tune, right? Go watch spy movies, right? Go watch The Americans on Amazon Prime, right? Go watch it, and, you know, and again, they're nostalgic movie values, but take some of those things, right? Lie your way into a first class upgrade on an airplane, right? Lie your way into a presidential suite at a hotel, right? Lie your way into a free breakfast, right? Don't do anything illegal, right? Understand your boundaries. I'm not advocating for anything illegal, but I think there are ways that you can practice and do that. Nate J with a super chat. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for all you do, Neil. We appreciate it. Thank you, Nate J. I truly appreciate you and your continued support as well. Whole Cyberhuman Initiative would like to put up Gerald Auger and Chris Folan's book today, if possible. Reach out to one of my mods in Discord, please, and coordinate with them, and we'll see if we can make it possible. Spy Game is a great movie. Spy Game is a fantastic movie. Mac, glad to see you. Hate we couldn't play golf this week. I was really looking forward to that. Favorite OS or Linux distro? Listen, Windows is awesome. Windows 11 is awesome. You can put the Linux subsystem on Windows, and you can do 99.9% of everything you need to do. I love OS X. I've got 2 Macs sitting here. I think OS X is awesome, right? Do I have a favorite? Windows and Mac are tied for first. Windows and OS X are tied for first. Linux distro, I'm a pride and pure Ubuntu fan, through and through. Give me Ubuntu any day of the week. Any day of the week. All right, so got word from my mods that giveaway went successful. Make sure you're paying attention to chat if you can hear me now. We do still have more stuff to give away. That apparently worked really, really well. So thanks, #worstmod, for that one. Appreciate you doing good on that one. I'll take back every bad thing I've said about you for the last week. You get a week for that one. You get a week for that one. Hey, Neil, I think also the scoping document needs to be considered. Some companies don't even know what a real pen test is. Just did one that was really a vendor CRI. Absolutely. This is the biggest problem that I have, right? Is that we all seem to want to advocate for pen tests, but we're all afraid of standardizing pen tests because we're all afraid of standards as pen testers. The amount of times that I've heard people say, well, you can't tell me what a pen test is because I need to have my creativity, my freedom of thought. Like, we don't live in that world anymore, right? We don't live in that world anymore. And so I think there's got to be, we've got to start coming up with some better education for companies. Like, I almost want to create like a master class for CISOs and CEOs and CFOs about what is a pen test and really educate them, because there are people paying for pen testing that have no business paying for pen testing because they don't know what the freak they're getting. It's insane. It drives me bonkers. All right. Let me check the Discords really quick. I do have some more stuff to give away. Actually, hold on. You know what I do have? Oh. I told you we'd find some stuff to give away. We've got I gotta find it. I gotta find it in my email first. I've got some codes here. Actually, it would come from let's see here. Here we go. Awesome. Fantastic. Josh, let me know in Discord if you're ready. I found them. All right. So I've just given Josh Mason 3 codes. So Josh is going to pick 3 winners. Josh, pay attention to Josh's commands inside of chat. But we're going to give away £20, whatever that converts to dollar, 20-pound swag vouchers for Try Hack Me. They can be redeemed internationally. So I gave those to Josh Mason, so he can pick 3 of those right there. So 20-pound swag vouchers for Try Hack Me. Does Cyber Insecurity have a TikTok? Yes, we do. It is Cyber Insecurity. There are some funny TikToks there. One of my goals for 22 is to get back into the habit of doing more of my social media stuff. That includes TikToks and Instagrams. I don't do the dances, not for lack of desire, but I have other funny stuff that is on my TikTok. I do indeed have a TikTok. Do indeed. I worked for a company that paid $300,000 for a Nessus scan. I literally almost had a heart attack. Almost had a heart attack. Thoughts on adding firmware hacking to INE? Would love to. If you're a firmware hacking content creator, get in touch with me. Let's chat. Happy to. Happy to. Gabriel says, one thing I've noticed is the lack of material for newcomers regarding the range of applications that are used by organizations, EDR, SIM, ticketing systems, and other SaaS. That's a fantastic point. Maybe that's actually a really, really good content suggestion, Gabriel. If you do me a favor, go over on Discord and into content suggestions, drop it into there. Maybe we'll do a stream one night where we talk about the different software that could potentially be utilized in environments. The difficult part, right? I don't care what any vendor tells you. Most of this stuff has gotten to be so well defined and so well developed. There isn't a good, better, best. And here's the reason why. Your teams are going to tell you. Your teams are going to tell you if the EDR sucks. Your teams are going to tell you if the SIM sucks. But I can definitively tell you that one team is going to like Carbon Black, CrowdStrike, SentinelOne, whatever. And the team that liked it, there's going to be another team in another organization that's going to hate it. And they're going to be vehement about hating it. And the problem is, different teams train different ways, different processes, different configurations of software. I've literally seen people hate one EDR and they'll have an SE team, a sales engineering team come in, look at that EDR, and it's completely misconfigured. Completely misconfigured. I've seen EDR teams, they got pwned by simple stuff, by Mimikatz, and they're like, why didn't you catch this, EDR vendor? And the EDR vendor comes in and says, because you misconfigured it to whitelist this directory, which just happens to be the most common directory where this malware drops its malware at. Or you've whitelisted the entire C drive. Good job. Right? And so happy to talk about or happy to build a masterclass, right? For people to understand the range of applications that are used out there by organizations so that everybody's familiar with those names. But I think that arguing the merits of good, better, best in some of these technologies is rough. It happened, BSEC. It happened. Whitelisted the C drive. I have definitively seen whitelisting the C drive. What are realistic salary expectations after transitioning from 1 to 2 years experience as a SOC analyst? I hate saying it depends, but it does depend on what part of the world you're in. If you're in the US, you've got 1 to 2 years as SOC analyst. I think it's fair to say you should be in the 75 to 85 range, 1 to 2 years as a SOC analyst. That depends on location, that depends on part of the world, things like that. So, you know, take all those things into consideration. I've never hired a SOC analyst with 1 to 2 years of experience for less than 75. I think it's a travesty to hire anybody less than that these days. And just for clarity, when I say realistic, that's what Neil thinks. Like this is, if you were hiring Neil as a career coach, this is what I'd be fighting for you. If you were hiring Neil as a career coach, this is what I'd be fighting for you, because I know we can make your 1 to 2 years experience. If you're 1 to 2 years experience as a SOC analyst, level 1, we can make you an awesome looking resume. But location, capabilities, things like that are all very, very dependent. So that's always a hard question to answer. So I try to put a lot of caveats in on it. Is programming, knowing a programming language, a must in this field or just a weapon of choice? JD on Fire, definitely a weapon of choice. It is not a must. Anybody who tells you that it is a must in cybersecurity is wrong. Wrong. It is not a must. It is definitely, it's definitely a weapon of choice, and you can get away with not having it for a number of years before eventually you'll probably want to pick up some language. Checking in on my mod. All right, so still waiting on Josh to pick a winner on that one. All right, looks like Josh is picking now. Awesome. John Rourke says, I'm in a cybersecurity boot camp from a university near INE headquarters. Is there a way I can get you to meet up with me and other students that live in the area for a mentoring QA session? 100%. 100%. Reach out to me. Reach out to me in a DM. I will absolutely do this. If you see me post on socials, listen, for those who are not aware, right? If you see me post on socials that I'm going to be in a location and you want to do this type of thing, DM me. I usually try to let you know when I'm going to be. Like I was in Richmond a couple weeks ago. I'm going to be in Tampa in about a month. I'll let you know where I'm going to be. Happy to build extra time in my schedule to do meetups for people who want to organize meetups in the places of the world where I'm going to be. So absolutely 100%, John, reach out to me in a DM, either on Discord or any of my social medias, and I would absolutely be honored to meet up with you and whoever you get out there. Follow on from JD on Fire. My social skills are at level 0. I don't talk much. How crucial is it in this field? You can get away with it. You can get away with it in the beginning, but I think it's something that you have to work on if you're going to move up in the leadership tier, right? You've got to be able to talk to people. Listen, and this is particularly important for my pen testers, right? This is particularly important to my pen testers. If you can't communicate the findings in your report, the report is the only thing that leadership has to value you on. And so you've got to be able to develop some level of social skills, or at least communication skills. You don't have to like people. You just got to be able to communicate with people to be able to deliver those, you know, those findings to folks. I wish I had known you were in Richmond. Would have loved to have would love to have you look at the 90s IT setup I fight with. I'll be up there again. Richmond's not that far away. I've got some new business contacts up there in Richmond. I will be in Richmond again soon. Come to India. There are lots of folks who would love to meet you. I'd love to come to India. I absolutely would. That's one of the places where I've tried to get to throughout my career, but I seem to keep missing missing the boat on that one, but I'd love to. I tell you what, if anybody wants to crowdfund me a plane ticket, to India, I'd be on board with a crowdfunded plane ticket to India. That's a long flight. That's a long flight. Hello, Neil. When can we see INE badges or certificates for completing courses or attending boot camps for sharing on LinkedIn? You can share any ELS certification, any of the e-learn security certifications, you can share those on LinkedIn right now. Any of the net new stuff, we are going to try to build into a system that also allows you to socially communicate it as well. That's some of the reasons that, we're still doing some development on the back end, but we're also trying to integrate what eLearn Security was doing into the broader INE certificate bootcamp course infrastructure. So stay tuned on that one. I saw INE upgraded eJPT. Are you going to update other certs as well? So just for clarity, eJPT, there is not a new version of eJPT out right now. It is being updated as well as PTS. So there will be a version 2 of PTS and eJPT coming out soon. What you're seeing on the platform is that we are, again, if you're aware, we bought Pentester Academy. We closed on them a couple months ago, 3 months ago, I think it is, right now. Sorry. A little bit later than we wanted to. Obviously, we were hoping that acquisition would get done mid-year, and it took us almost 2 quarters to get it done. You're starting to see the fruits that are going to bear from that acquisition, right? You're starting to see in the platform, if you look at PTS, you'll see a remastered or beta next to a lot of the labs. That is us converting the labs that were failing miserably, right, on the old infrastructure to the new PTA infrastructure for performance reasons, right? So that was the first thing, is we needed to help everybody who was having lab problems solve their lab problems, because we can't have you all with unresponsive, unreliable labs. So what you're seeing in the platform right now is that effort to do that. Now, at the same time, the red team who's working on Pentester Student, so that is Josh Mason and Alexi, who runs Hackersploit, who's now working for INE. For those who didn't know, I didn't realize that wasn't common knowledge. Yeah, Alexi, who runs Hackersploit, the YouTube channel, is working for INE, working with Josh on red teaming content, right? And so they're also building net new labs for eJPT and Pentester Student, as well as updating that content and making it more relevant. And so, yes, there will be a new Pentester Student as well as eJPT in the near future. And that will mark the first of kind of all the brain trust coming together, saying, cool, we're now able to continue with this new lab platform and new strategy to continue to update the content. So it is, I appreciate you asking the question, Mohammed. It is a long and arduous process, but we're glad to be on the other side of some very strategic acquisitions that are allowing us to be successful in doing those updates. So. Those codes are for, so it looks like Josh picked 3 winners. Those codes are for, what did I say they were? Got them in my email right here. They are for 20-pound swag vouchers for Try Hack Me. It looks like I'm still waiting for Josh to confirm the winners on that one. Brian, I did say boot camps, but we don't do boot camps like a 6-day boot camp or anything like that. It's more just, hey, we're going to cover a topic, go do this topic type of thing. That one's good. DevNull says, what do you think about getting a job that is cyber adjacent first to pivot into cyber afterwards? Absolutely. Absolutely. I said this on another interview that I did the other day. You don't hack the domain controller directly, right? You hack a computer and then you pivot to the domain controller. Sometimes you may have to do that with your cyber career. Best analogy I can give you, right? Just like you wouldn't go directly after a domain controller, sometimes you can't go directly after a pen testing job role. Sometimes you got to hack a different machine to get to it. Sometimes you have to hack a different part of your career before you get to be a pen tester. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of that. I've been working in blue team as a SOC analyst. However, I'm interested in red teaming as well. Is purple teaming good for future? Yes, 100%. Also, if there is a mod that can link the Attack IQ Academy, if you're interested in purple teaming training, Attack IQ has free purple teaming training. They are also a partner. They have awesome free training. And again, what is rule number 1? Do the free stuff first. Do the free stuff first. So go do the purple team training first. Huge advocate for the purple teaming side. How do I become a CISO? Sear every nerve ending in your body because it's a painful process. Honestly, I think the number one piece of advice that I'd have for anybody wanting to be a CISO is there's a book. One of the guys who worked for me on the IR team at a company before recommended. Never Split the Difference. It's a negotiating book. It's a negotiating book. If somebody wants to find a link to that on Amazon, right? I don't want to mislead anybody, but Never Split the Difference. It's a book on negotiating tactics, right? And so I think that there you go. Never Split the Difference. Thanks, Josh. Look, Josh is running the giveaways and dropping links. Running the giveaway and dropping links. He's on point. If you want to be a CISO, you have to be a master negotiator, right? Nothing will make your life miserable other than knowing that you can't make your team happy and you can't make the C-suite or the board of directors happy. And so I think that master negotiating skill is critical to becoming a good CISO. Other than that, I don't subscribe to the fact that you can or can't be a technical CISO. I think you can be a technical CISO. I think you can be a non-technical CISO. Do I think a CISSP is crucial to being a CISO? No, I'll never say that. I'll never advocate for a CISO or for a Cissp to be, the gatekeeping cert for CISSP. Does it help? Yes. Again, but I take everything with a grain of salt. I think that those things help, but I don't think that they're required. I don't think that the knowledge that you gain in CISSP is necessarily required, to be a CISO. I think it's helpful. I think there's good information there if you're not familiar with it. So I think put that on your roadmap. Get exposure. Get exposure to not just the technical side, but to the non-technical side. I'm taking a deviating path, or I have taken deviating paths in my career where I've focused on the non-technical stuff because it is important to be that well-rounded when it comes to being a CISO. You've got to be able to talk to all the stakeholders. And so I think the general consensus here is, how do you become a CISO? Get really, really good at communication, get really, really good at negotiation, become very well-rounded in the technical and the non-technical side. And I think you're on the track to do well. Learn politics. Whether you like it or not, the politics at the CISO level are dumb. They're dumb. There are legit people who will not do the right thing for cybersecurity because you didn't play the politics right period dot. That's how disappointing the politics are at the CISO level. That's why I say learn the negotiating tactics, is because your life is going to be spent negotiating with somebody who doesn't want to do what it is that you want to do because they just don't like you or they don't like your role. And when you're sitting in a room full of EVPs who all have the CEO's ear, who all have the CFO's ear, who if they're like, yeah, we think MFA is dumb, and you've got 12 EVPs and they have got a better story about how it's more cost effective not to do MFA than you as the CISO does, guess what's happening? You're not doing MFA. That is the bottom line. That is the bottom line. So negotiation, communication skills are huge. Listen, it is a hard job. It is a hard job. It is a fun and fulfilling job when you get to work for an organization that allows you to make changes. Right? It is a fun and fulfilling organization or job if the organization allows you to make changes. I've been to 2 organizations where I've been grateful enough that from the start to my end of tenure there, I didn't have too much pushback, right? In one, we had a board of directors member who had come from a previously breached Fortune 100 company who said, you will make this a priority. And so what happened is the CEO said, yes, board of directors. The CFO said, yes, board of directors. The CIO said, I hear you, board of directors, but I'm going to deviate slightly. And so there was always this like, I don't agree with the board of directors. I'm going to let you do what you need to do, CISO organization, but I'm going to throw roadblock after roadblock, trap after trap. I'm going to make you do PowerPoint presentations until you're blue in the face. I'm going to question every decision you ever want to make, and I'm going to make your life miserably hard. But I'm not going to say no, because the board of directors told me that I have to make it a priority, but I'm definitely not going to make it easy for you. Definitely not going to make it easy for you. And so like there's definitely some contention there with that. I don't mean to make CISOs sound like a terrible job. Please don't think it's a terrible job. It's an incredibly needed job, an incredibly grateful job, but it's also an incredibly hard job. You see we've resorted to bottled water now. Just since we've seen this, just as we're on the topic of CISOs, should CISO be a board member? Do you see this changing in the future? No. No, I don't think a CISO should be a board member. Do I think board of directors should have more cybersecurity-minded people? I would love for there to be a wave in the business community that says you will have either a technologist or a cybersecurity representative. I'd prefer to be a cybersecurity representative. You'll have a cybersecurity advisor. They don't have to be a voting board member. Maybe that takes away some of the oomph if they're not a voting board member, right? But maybe they do become a voting board member. Maybe it's a voting minority share board member. I don't know, something like that. But I do think that having a mandatory cybersecurity advisor advise the board of directors, or at least be able to call out when a CISO is trying to BS the board of directors, I'd be an advocate for that. I'd be an advocate for that. But I don't think that the CISO having a seat on the board, I don't think is necessary. I think that's too much. I think that's too much. Okay. So looks like you guys are crushing. You guys are making Josh look really, really good on this giveaway thing. So appreciate that one. Appreciate everybody's patience as we do this. I promise you that we're gonna, we'll figure out what broke with the normal bot this time around. But do truly appreciate everybody's cooperation and patience. I do have an IND Premium Pass to give away. that's going to come later. Not going to give that away just yet. See what else I got in my, checking what else I got in my inbox. Does Ceso report directly to the board? So this is, okay, so we got some more. Okay, awesome. Looks like we got some more. We got some more stuff to give away. So look at it this way. When we talk about the board of directors, when we talk about the CISO reporting directly to the board of directors, does the CISO report directly to the board of directors? In most cases, yes. In most cases, yes, they report quarterly to the board of directors. But in an org chart, they typically report to the CIO or the CTO or somewhere down in there. And this is problematic, right? This is problematic because the CIO also reports to the board of directors and is oftentimes, you know, in some way, shape, or fashion, held accountable for all of the IT and all of the information systems across the organization. So if you have the CIO up here reporting to the board of directors, you have the CISO that reports to the CIO, but also reports to the board of directors. Now you have a CISO who is going to rat out his boss to his boss's boss. So think about how politically convoluted that can be in an organization, right? I'm going to go tell the board of directors, boss, that you didn't do MFA. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean I didn't do MFA? You didn't provide me with this. You didn't provide me with that. You didn't work with the identity and access management team. We've got all these considerations over here in manufacturing that we've got to be concerned with. We didn't do this. No, 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 no. We didn't do MFA because of you, CISO. We didn't do MFA because of me, right? So that's what I would say. So it looks like we're going to give away 2 1-month Blue Team Labs online. This one is care of Josh Mason and Cyber Supply Drop. So thank you very much for that. So does kind of report to the board of directors, does kind of not. It sucks. It's hard. That's why I say the CISO is in a weird position right now. In my opinion, we shouldn't be cert hunters, but in an RFP, you wouldn't take into consideration a more certified team? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think I think when I look at an RFP, right? Because again, remember, I spent time at a Big Four. I know what goes into those bio packages. Like I've been on the receiving end of that bio package where it's like, I want you to put every cert known to man that you possess, Neil, in this bio package, right? You know what happens? They go in there for that RFP and they're like, look how credentialed our team is, right? No, I do not. I know that there are some again, it's a gatekeeping piece on the business side. Does it impact it? Absolutely, 100%. I do agree that it does impact some people's business decisions. Do I personally do it? No, and I'm not an advocate for it. And I tell any CISO that I advise, right, that doesn't necessarily mean the team is credentialed. If you were so convinced that makes a team credentialed, ask to interview the exact people who were going to be on the project, right? So if I'm scoping a pen test and they give me, because this is what will happen. This is what a Big Four will do. A Big Four will put profiles of their best people into a response for a RFP. And then when the actual engagement comes around, they'll say, well, it took you too long to respond to this RFP. It took you too long to sign a statement of work. Therefore, we're not going to go with that crew. We're going to go with this crew over here. And guess what? You just bought into an RFP with a credentialed team that you're not getting, because that's what they sold you on. And so I'm like, unless you're going to write it into the statement of work that this is exactly who I get, and I get to interview the exact people that are going to be on the team. No, I think that is a lame criteria to use in a response to an RFP. Oh, I'd already did that one from Residual. Are we going to see any, Henry says, are we going to see any different or new YouTube content in 22 aside from AMAs and collabs? You'll always see AMAs and collabs. You'll see us pick back. We obviously held off on a lot of interviews. We weren't going to really stack up a December calendar with interviews. So we'll pick back up the interview schedule. Yes, I'm going to cyber secrets, maybe, potentially. I thoroughly enjoyed doing Advent of Cyber. I knew I would, but I enjoyed doing those types of videos. I am looking for more videos and more content like that to do that isn't overdone already, right? So my thing is like, I understand people are like, but Neil, we want your perspective. Then ask me and I'll give you my perspective. I don't think you need to see me do something to see my perspective, right? I like doing content that isn't overdone, right? And so I'm going to be looking for opportunities to do more labs like that, to do them both on stream and dedicated video content like I did for Advent of Cyber. I'm also, I'll tell you a cyber secret right now. I'm on the docket to drop a course for I&E. I am on the docket to drop a course for I&E. I don't know that I'm ready to tell you all what the course will be for I&E. Potentially. Maybe. I'll think about it. Yet. It's been something that a lot of folks have asked for. But definitely looking to drop an I&E course in 22. So yes, you'll see a lot of different content. We've spent the last 2 weeks of a break really revamping the content calendar. We've got some collaborators that are going to come on and we're going to bring back Tuesday study sessions. I'm hoping to have a conversation with a content creator to confirm bringing back Tuesday study sessions. So that's definitely happening. So yeah, definitely more different content now that we're rolling into 22. All right, let's see what we got here. I really did enjoy doing the Advent of Cyber videos. I knew I would. It's one of those like itch scratching things, right? Once I scratched that itch, I was like, yeah, I knew I was going to like this again. I knew I was going to go back to liking that. With CyberSN releasing the entry-level track for their candidate sourcing, will you have Daedry back? Potentially. I mean, I offer to any of my guests that have previously been on the stream that they're welcome to come back whenever they want to use our outlet for communication. Especially if the streams were well received. I don't turn down any guests that reach out to me. We will entertain, and we will have a pre-interview for any guest that wants to be on the stream, and we'll determine if the content is something that the community can benefit from. If she wants to come back and chat about her entry-level track for candidate sourcing, I would absolutely adore to have her back. She was a joy to have on stream. No current plans right now, but again, added to the content suggestion on Discord. If anybody's interested in her specifically, if there's enough, maybe we'll do a poll on YouTube for your most desired featured guest to come on stream, and we'll bring them back. I don't think we had a bad guest in 21. I don't think we had a bad guest. Can't think of. You guys are great in chat. I love reading chat. I really need to like, I thoroughly love reading chat. 2022 predictions. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't have a crystal ball, but I think it's going to be lit. I think it's going to be awesome. I think we're going to have some, I think we're going to have some interesting rides. I think we're going now every year having a major cybersecurity incident towards Q4, Q1. So I'm sorry to add that to my prediction list. I think we're going to see more of that. I think Web 3.0 is going to continue to see big things. I think cloud's going to continue to be huge. Again, I'll say my quintessential thing. If you're not already looking at cloud and learning anything you can about cloud, and again, when I talk about learning cloud, take a project, right, and stand it up in the cloud, right? If you're not doing that, I think you're behind on cloud learning. I think hybrid environments, right? When we talk about pen testing and we talk about Active Directory, I think seeing the interaction between on-prem Active Directory services and hybrid Azure AD, right? I think those are going to be some interesting things that I'd be interested to see how they evolve in 22. Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good prediction list for 22. Lots and lots of content. I think we're in a day and age where content now, there's going to be so much content. I think you all are super lucky to be in an era where there's so much available content out there. eCPPT or OSCP? eCPPT, hands down, without a doubt. Has nothing to do with the fact that I work at INE. I think OSCP is antiquated. That's why you're seeing changes. Listen, you're seeing changes at Offensive Security because you, the community, have gone to other certs because other certs provide realistic pen testing experience. That's why you see them dropping the buffer overflow stuff. That's why you see them focusing on other areas, because you all have spoken. It's eCPPT because it's more realistic, and it's been more realistic for years, which is why OSCP is playing catch up. That should tell you everything you need to know right there. Is INE Red Team Labs going to use Windows 11 and Server 2022? Here's what I will tell you, right? And I'm not going to say yes or no to this one, right? What I'm going to say is the team will use whatever teaches you real-world pen testing. I get this question a lot from people who are like, why am I learning how to hack Windows XP? And that's because there are people who don't understand that Windows XP still runs $10 billion manufacturing lines in an enterprise. And they don't have a firewall in front of them, and they're open to the entire network, and they still have MS-08067 on them, and they still give you keys to the kingdom. And so don't ask yourself, don't determine that the content is bad anywhere, not just INE. Don't determine that the content is bad because it doesn't use Windows 11 or Server 22. That's not a measure of good content. If anything, you need to be taking this and you should be like, holy cow, I'm so glad I'm learning how to hack this stuff. Because, you know, and again, Mark Harvey just said it, lots of XP still in tons of hospitals. A lot of embedded systems still using a ton of XP, right? There are still so many instances of old software out there, right? And old operating systems that is not a measure of whether content is up to date. And I say that broad speaking across the board. Okay? That's not me trying to defend INE. That's me saying that's not a measure of content or realism, because it is still very realistic for those systems to be out there. Now, on the flip side of that, will INE Red Team Labs use Windows 11 Server 22? If the team deems that it is a worthy learning objective, absolutely, 100%. If they have learning objectives that match Windows 11 and Windows 2022, absolutely, 100%. I know that there is an Azure pen testing course that talks about hacking Azure in its current state right now. There are Windows architecture, security architecture courses that are going to go up. They're going to talk about, current state of technology, Evergreen, Microsoft Evergreen, things like that, right? Because those things are relevant now. But just because Windows 11 and Windows 22 is out today doesn't mean that every organization that's ever going to be pen tested out there has got them rolled out and implemented. And therefore, that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be taught for a lab to be current. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about it, right? Clarification, not judging. There's a lot of XP Windows 7, 2003. Here's the thing. I want us to teach more TTPs, right? I want us to talk more about, evaluating the environment. I want us to talk more about, similar to how we did things, in US Cyber, right? In US Cyber Command, right? Where we talk about things like, you get dropped into a box, here's what you can expect from the environment. And so here's how you position yourself to tools so that you can execute those tools and be successful in the operation that you have in that organization, right? And so I think to do that, you're going to see scenarios built that teach you a concept and teach you how to execute that concept, expertly when you're dropped into it in a real world pen test. And I think, when we start to see, organizations that have a complete 100% infrastructure of Windows 11, that becomes your first line of defense, you'll probably see more labs with Windows 11 and 2020 and Server 22, right? But as long as there is still somebody in a Windows 7 machine checking their email, a phishing exploit with potentially Eternal Blue works just fine, right? And so again, remember, pen testing is about, hitting that low-hanging fruit. You got to teach the low-hanging fruit. You don't teach the cream of the crop. Checking with the mods on the next giveaway. Next question. Let's see what we got here. Like I said, we still got tons of stuff to give away here. We'll keep answering questions. Year-end bash. See if we can't empty the book. Looks like we're gonna give away two books. Two books from Paul at the Whole Cyber Human Initiative. I've been working with that organization now for a couple months. I love what they're doing over there. Definitely go check them out. I'm just waiting on the details from my mods, but looks like we're gonna give away two books next. What new technologies we have to get a foundation about in 22 to get us on the curve? Cloud, all things Web 3.0. Two technologies, super easy. I'm gonna double down on the Web 3.0 stuff. All right, so Josh Mason's gonna do a giveaway. We're gonna give away two books, care of the Whole Cyber Human Initiative. We're gonna give away Developing Your Cybersecurity Career Path: How to Break into Cybersecurity. This one, this is a good book as well. This one is by God, who is doing this one? Oh, Christopher. Oh, yeah, Christopher Folan. We're also giving away Cybersecurity Career Master Plan, Proven Techniques. This is Jerry's book in conjunction with Jax and John and Jessica. I think Jessica was the fourth author on that one. Kim was the fourth author. Yeah, Kim was the fourth author on that one. So Josh is going to run that giveaway. We're going to give away two books right there. Back to questions. Those books are awesome, by the way. People have been raving about Jerry's book, especially. I do think Jerry's book is awesome. How do you properly research and study hacking? Can improper study lead you down a black hole? I think listen, if improper study leads you down a black hole, then I'm guilty of improper study, because I go down every black hole that is presented to me. I kid you not. I am legitimately no code and Rammy. We're doing giveaways a little different. For some reason, the bot is broken. We're not using exclamation point raffle today because for some reason the bot is broken. So follow Josh Mason's instructions in chat if you want to enter into the giveaway for the 2 books. Just because we're down some technology today. Technology is failing us on the last day of 21. Figures. I get down rabbit holes pretty easily. How do you properly research and study hacking? I don't know. I don't know that properly is the word that I would use. I don't know that properly is the word that I would use. I find so the most recent example I have is this Web 3.0 thing and NFTs, right? I knew that they existed. Gary Vee, who I follow relentlessly, has been preaching them for damn near a year now. And so I've obviously heard of NFTs and been watching what he's done. But for me, the trigger wasn't until Facebook changed their name from Facebook to Meta and started to embrace the concept of the metaverse. And then the week later, Microsoft did they openly acknowledged the metaverse and that they were going to be doubling down on the metaverse. And then, OpenSea reported their highest revenue earning, month at something like $1.1 billion in NFT sales in like 1 month, where I kind of sat back and said, okay, this might be something to look at. If there's $1.1 billion worth of something going somewhere, it's probably looking to see where $1.1 billion is going into. And then I just start from there and I start unraveling threads. And that's how you get it. Now, is that the proper way to do it? I have no clue. But it's what works for me. I would say find what works for you. I think you have to go down black holes. I think in this space and in this industry, you have to go down black holes, right? That is how you're going to learn stuff. And so I don't think that there is a wrong answer to that. I just think it's what you have to do. Do you meditate? I don't, but I should. How'd you learn SQL injection? Damn vulnerable web app, that distro, and Sans. Honestly, back in the day. How do you come up with a good domain name for your website to build your personal brand if you have a popular name? Find a brand that you want to be associated with, right? You don't have to have yourname.com if you want to have something that's associated with your brand. Just make sure it's always on brand. It's the what doesn't matter. It's that you're on brand when you're producing content. That's what I would encourage you to do. Is CEH overhyped? Please give some hacking resources except books. They're kind of boring for most people. I'm with you. I'm not really much into books. CEH is overhyped, very much so. And, go to our Discord into resource repository. You'll find resources for days. Go to Cyber Supply Drop. You'll find resources for days. Go to Jerry's simplycyber.io. You'll find resources for days. Tons and tons and tons of it out there. Thank you, Jess. This is a fantastic point, right? It is also interconnected, right? The black holes turn out to be wormholes to all the cool knowledge. It really does. Like, I refuse to stop learning. And it's like, it turns something on in your brain to learn stuff new. Cyber secrets, it was a long time since I had done a lot of that S3 bucket stuff that I did for Advent of Cyber. There were some things that I did have to learn net new to do the Advent of Cyber stuff that I didn't know before. And I was like, oh, I forgot what this is like, right? And so it is it does do something to you to trigger those learning, types of juices in you. No, they don't. They do some free stuff every now and then, but you won't get a SANS course for free. Muhammad says, if somebody's goal is exploit development, do you recommend learning hardcore programming? Programming definitely becomes much more important to you to do exploit development. I've taken 2 exploit development classes. I've got 1 0-day to my name. And that was it. I was done after that. I was like, this is not of interest to me. It takes a different mentality and a different personality to do that stuff. I'm glad I had that knowledge, but that was the line for me. I was like, I'm done. I'm good. Y'all have fun with that. Definitely becomes much more important at that level, though. Let's see what else we got here. What would be a possible pathway to getting started in cyber threat intelligence for freshers? Any advice for the same? I would start like in terms of like free stuff you can do. Trace Labs, they have their so if one of the mods is still around that wants to link Trace Labs stuff, I'd go take a look at Trace Labs and start getting involved in their open source reconnaissance research. They do a ton of that stuff. And that's probably where I'd actually get started for threat intelligence. And then, just start, getting access to some of the free platforms like Threat Connect or Anomaly or Risk IQ, and start just participating in those communities the same way you would do anywhere else. Waiting on the mods to tell me if we're good on the book. We'll do the book, and then we'll do the INE giveaway. Do the book, and then we'll do the INE giveaway. For the loyal folks who have stuck around with me this long, we'll do the INE giveaway. Do you feel the young talent has more access to knowledge than you did? 100%. I have said it more times than I could count. I would start over again today with access to everything that you all have access to today, because it was hand and fist more than I had access to coming up in this space. Absolutely. 100%. And will you be overtaken by young pen testers, and that is why you are best suited at managing or directing them? I like the passive aggressive approach in that question. I do. Do I worry about being overtaken by young pen testers? No, but it has nothing to do with my ego, right? And again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning of stream. I cheer my competition. I am dying for somebody to come out here and say that I'm better than you. Why? Because the response you're going to get is high five. I'm so proud of you. Super proud of you, right? Worry means that I feel like I've got some throne that I've got to sit on, that I've got to maintain, and I don't. I know that there are people out there right now that are better than me. And you know what? I'm incredibly happy for them. I'm so super happy for them. Are they younger than me? I could care less. Are they older than me? I could care less. I am super pumped that there are young pen testers out there that are overtaking me right now. I got nothing to prove. I got nothing to prove to anybody. Maybe that's the old guy in me, where I'm not chasing, anybody else's gratification in this space. I don't need to be known. I don't care to be known. I don't want to be known as the greatest pen tester of all times. That's not a trophy I want on my mantle. It's not one that I'm seeking. Is that why I'm best suited managing or directing them? No. I have always, I think that there is God, how do I say this? Story time.
story time a little bit, right? When I was in the military, right? When I was in basic training, we'll go all the way back to basic training, right? In Air Force basic training, you're in a flight of about 65 to 75, fresh airmen, right? You have to march. But when you go to march, right, they have you line up shortest on the left, tallest on the right, and then they have you turn tallest on the left, shortest on the right. So the shortest person in the flight basically ends up in the back left of a square, if you imagine a formation, right? Back left of a square. Guess who's the shortest person in his flight? This guy right here. Shortest person. At a whopping 5'6", 5'7", I was the shortest person in my flight. So at the very beginning of each of those columns, the drill sergeant pointed to all of them, said, you are the element leader for your element, right? And so there was somebody at the very head of the flight who was an element leader. And this is probably my second weekend or something like that. And my element leader was getting yelled at. Couldn't march his element straight, couldn't keep him in line, couldn't do what the drill sergeant, and he was getting yelled at in the face. And I felt bad, but I knew I'd gone into basic training saying, Neil, keep your head low. Keep your head low. You don't volunteer for anything. You don't stand out. You're just trying to get through those 6 weeks of basic training and get out into the Air Force. Don't stick your head up. Remember distinctively one morning, my element leader is getting yelled at. Drill sergeant in his face right here, yelling at him, cussing him out. And then he walks down the element and he says, does anybody else in this flight not have the bleakity bleak 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 to lead this element better than Airman Snuffy up there? And the first thing that I did was I shot my hand up and said, sir, yes, sir. After telling myself I wasn't going to volunteer for everything, my dumb self volunteers to be an element leader. It was at that point in time that I knew I wanted to be a leader. I love to lead. I love building teams. I love making objectives matter. I love conquering goals. I love smashing expectations. And I have always tried to be a hands-on leader. I was doing, so the SOC teams and the IR teams that I managed, ask anybody who was on those teams. I was just as hands-on in Carbon Black and Splunk. We did pen test. I did pen test right there next to him. I was always a hands-on leader. I've always have been. I will always do my best to try. And so I choose to lead because I love the feeling that I get. I love the dopamine rush that I get from watching my team succeed, from watching my team crush, right? This cyber insecurity team, you all, the community, everything that you all do, I love watching you all crush it. You all are my team. I love watching you all crush it. And so, hands down, like, I'd make a choice to lead because that's what does it for me. I personally will always be a hands-on leader because I refuse to let that part of me go. But that's not why I'm best suited for managing or directing them. That's not even a consideration I have. And again, I still cheer for anybody who comes up and is better than me. There are people out there now that are better than me. There are people out there that will continue to be better for me, and I will continue to cheer them on. And I'd be more than, if there's a trophy around here that you want, be like, I unseated Neil. If that helps make your day feel better, you're welcome to it. Have at it. Have added. Got the book winners. We're all good. Ready for the next madness. Okay. All right. Well, the moment you've all been waiting for. moment you've all been waiting for. We are going to give away our last INE Premium sub of 2021. This one is care of Patrick Maloney and the team at Query.ai. I do ask that you do throw some shout outs, whether you're the winner or not, do throw some shout outs to Query.ai and Andrew Maloney and his team for sponsoring this giveaway. Andrew gets nothing out of this other than, you know, my continued friendship for whatever that's worth. Andrew believes in this community. Andrew believes in what we're doing in cybersecurity, what we're doing for folks out there. He truly is here for you. So when I say that our partners give prizes and discounts away for you all, this is just an example where this company doesn't have to do anything. They're, you know, you're not necessarily, you know, all their target demographic, right? They truly just believe in what it is that you're doing and what it is that you stand for in cybersecurity, that they want to see you succeed. And so my very, very simple, my very, very humble ask, go at them on social media and tell them that you appreciate them, you know, supporting the cyber and security community. With that being said, let's see what we got for questions. BSEC just, like, I'm telling you, we need to reinstate the troll command for BSEC. Callie, if you want the Op4 banner, you can have the Op4 banner. I'll sell it to you. 331st, nice, John. Glad to see some folks from the 331st in here. Miss my days of basic in a way. Boy, look at this. We got a couple, man. Wow. De La Cruz, look at this. I realized we had so many military folks in chat today. That's awesome. That's awesome. Glad to see everybody here. Let's see what else we got here. Let's talk about this one. Any update on INE Cloud fundamentals and Azure test results? There is going to be a cloud announcement. Again, until you hear it from the official INE channels, it's not official, but I will tell you that there will be a cloud announcement in January. Stay tuned for that. We made another strategic acquisition in the cloud space in Q4. We're going to do a massive drop of cloud stuff in January. I think everybody will be happy with what we're going to release, and it will include details on the courses and the certs that we baited over the summer. Any specific language to learn for exploit development? C. I think most stuff is still done in C. You know, assembly. Ugh. You're gonna do buffer overflows, assembly, return after free. You know, assembly. Yeah, assembly. And C. Brian Godfrey, what are you going to do for New Year's? I think we're going to a neighbor's house to, you know, celebrate, but my butt will be in bed long before midnight because I have a routine that I have to keep, and there is no way that I'm staying up till midnight at all. But other than that, not much. Prepping to go back to work next week. I'm excited to get back to it. Hopefully you all are excited too. Dev says, thoughts on interviewing people from the community that have come up since joining. I've always thought about interviewing folks from the community. I know that we've done some interviews in the past. May add that to a poll option and see who from the community you'd love to have interviewed. You know, we'll interview anybody except for BSEC. Kidding, BSEC, you know I love you. That was kind of the original thought behind doing the after hours chats in Discord. There's a lot of risk to doing the after hours chats. I'm part of some of the content revamp that I'm looking at is adding a more panel discussion with folks from the community, right? You're used to seeing Jeff and I up here for an Old Guy Wednesday type of mentality, but you know, I'm thinking about doing a community panel as part of the content roadmap for 22, where we pick some random folks from the community to participate in a community panel. So that's just a cyber secret. One of the things that I'm looking to do for next year as well. On the subject on drones, where do you suggest for counter UAV resources? Don't know of any. Honestly, don't know of any. If you find any, feel free to utilize the resource repository and share with the community. That's what makes this community awesome. Something I hadn't thought about. Feel free to share it with everybody else. Speaking of small drones, what's your opinion of hacking organizations using small drones? Thought about it, researched it. I think it's a cool concept. I think it's like a lot like a lot of the cool stuff that we do. I think it's awesome on paper, terrible in practice. You don't need to. Honestly, you don't need to. I think it's cool to, if you're dealing with an organization that has got really, really good physical security and you want to prove how you can beat out their physical security by flying a drone over, then I think that that's a fantastic resource. Absolutely. But I don't think it's nearly as mainstream as you might want it to be. Remember, don't necessarily go anywhere if your name wasn't called for the giveaway. We do frequently have people who don't pick up their prizes, and we have to re-roll. Favorite malware analysis platform? Hybrid analysis is pretty good. Gaedra is pretty good as well. Open to the community for suggestions. I think that's very much like the Kali Linux conversation versus Parrot. Everybody's got their favorite, and they're not necessarily right or wrong. Answered that one already. I'm into GRC and malware analysis. Joseph, glad to see that's two differentiating spectrums right there. GRC and malware analysis. What malware analysis tools have you found to be helpful, preferably free or open source? I would say Sift, Gaedra. I just said that one. Yeah, I'd probably start with those two. I think Sift is more malware, or forensics. Sorry, Sift is more forensics. Yeah, I don't really have any good ones for that one. Check resource repository and Discord. Maybe somebody in the computer's got something on that one. Any run? Yeah, I saw somebody say any run in chat. Yeah, that's a good one too. All right, Joe Brown, congratulations on winning the INE Premium, care of Andrew Maloney and the Attack IQ, or sorry, not Attack IQ, Query.ai team. I think that does it. That's been a 2.5 hour stream. It's been 2.5 hours? Yeah, 2.5 hour stream this morning. One of our longer ones, not too bad this morning. Oh, actually, I just saw a good question come in. I'm actually going to do this one really quick. I'm going to send this one. Can you talk a bit about your daily routine? Absolutely. I'd love to talk about my daily routine. I wake up every morning at 6 o'clock to the nice sound of some 80s music going off in the house. Wake up. That from when I wake up at 6 until 9, that is my time, right? I try not to touch work as much as possible between 6 and 9. I usually try to get a workout in. If it's a non-workout day, then I'll usually come up and do something stream related where I'm either like looking at the content calendar, prepping content for the next day. I'm researching stuff for the stream, researching stuff for my own benefit, checking up on the news, things like that. That 3 hour block that's my time to prepare myself for my day. So I usually eat breakfast in there, usually get my, my water in, things like that. Whatever the case is. 9 o'clock, usually start my day hard. I'll go fast. I'll try to schedule all my meetings in the morning. I prefer to have all my meetings in the morning. That way I can go take a break for lunch. And then in the afternoon, I can focus on doing task, right? Whatever that is, whatever came out of the meetings or things like that. Obviously, I don't always get away with not having any meetings in the afternoon. And so I do have meetings in the afternoon. But typically speaking, as a routine, that's what I like to try to have. Usually about 5 o'clock, I'm usually done working, and then starts, going into the evening time. Usually I'll stop from 5. If Carmen has meetings until about 6, then, I'll I'll work, some extra hours. I'll pay some extra catch up or something like that till she gets done with work. When she gets done with work, either about 5 or 6, depending on how her meeting schedule goes, then I hard stop work and I go, that's family time right there, right? So from 6 to usually about 8. From 6 to 8, there's no laptop, there's no cell phone. It's Carmen and I just hanging out, spending 2 solid hours together, doing nothing. After about 8 o'clock, obviously Monday, Wednesdays are stream nights. So we'll stream from 8 to 10, and then 10 o'clock I'll turn off the stream and go straight to bed. Tuesdays, when 8 o'clock rolls around, I save that time for self-study. Sometimes we'll sit on the kitchen table downstairs together and we'll learn something together. Sometimes I'll just research stuff on my own. Sometimes I'm prepping stream content. But again, from 8 to 10, that's usually my self-study time that I'm in there, working or doing some type of self-study. Friday mornings, obviously my 6 to 9, I take time out of my 6 to 9 to come in here and start, Tea with a Hacker up by 8:30. So I try to get my workout in before Tea with a Hacker, come here, sit and do Tea with a Hacker till, whenever we get done with Tea with a Hacker. I tell my team not to schedule any meetings on Friday. I think Fridays are terrible days for meetings. They add unnecessary stress to the entire team. And so I don't schedule any meetings for Friday unless it's absolutely needed. And I spend all day on Friday catching up on things that didn't get done the previous week because I was stuck in meetings. And then Friday night, I love Jack. I love Sec IT Guy. I think he does a fantastic job with Tipsy Cyber, but unfortunately that's an intentional date night with Carmen. So I don't touch that one at all. And then Saturday and Sunday are free days. I just kind of hang out and do whatever it is I want to do on Saturday and Sunday. So hopefully try to play video games. Awesome. Love that one. I don't mind talking about my daily routine at all. Happy to answer any other questions. I truly appreciate everybody tuning in to me today. I appreciate all the folks from Simply Cyber who are still hanging out in chat. Listen, thank you all. Thank you all so very much for an awesome 2021. It was kick-ass. I truly appreciate every single one of the people in this community. Make sure you're in our Discord. Make sure you're following me on my socials, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. Follow me on all the socials. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in being a member, obviously there's no pressure in being a member, but we do have some good member perks that are associated with it. A lot of thought was put into those member perks. We're gonna kick ass in 22. That's it. Just tell yourself that right now. We're gonna kick ass in 22. And so listen, whether you're on the red side or the blue side or still deciding, keep learning, and we'll see y'all next time.